Okay guys, welcome back to Kempf Fitness Pro. This is a bit of an impromptu video with the setup, so I hope the lighting and everything is okay and you can see me in here, but this is just something related to your programming that I wanted to get into the app and into your program. So this is tempo and the 4 digits. So we're just going to be talking about tempo, which is a variable for program design in your workouts. And I'm going to explain this as simply as possible because it's sometimes gets over complicated and over explained. And so I figured these cute little stick figures would give you a better understanding of what the point of the tempo is and how to do it properly when you see it in your programming. But with any movement, for the most part, we're just generalizing here. There's some rare exceptions, explosive movements, and so on. The movement pattern is always going to consist of 4 different parts of the movement pattern. The starting point, where we end up going to in the range of motion, and then coming back to the starting point. So you'll see here A, starting point, there's an arrow from point A to point B, and then there's B, and then an arrow from B to point A. So the 4 phases of the movement, as you would see here, digit 1 is the movement from A to B. So our starting position to the end position of the movement. Digit 2 in our tempo represents the pause at point B. Digit 3 is the movement from point B to point A, and digit 4 is the pause at point A. So we could think of just easy examples here. The squat for our lower body pushing movement, the bridge for our lower body pulling movement, our hinge pattern, and then a push up for our upper body push and a pull up for our upper body pull, kind of like the most common archetypical movement patterns that you can do with body weight. Just as quick, easy examples for you guys to get this, because the squat and the push up both start from the top position, point A, and the bottom position is point B. In the bridge and the pull up, you'll see you start at the bottom of both of these movements. So point A is the bottom and point B is the top. So whenever you're seeing your tempo, it's specific to that movement pattern, because if I gave you a tempo where you start in a different point A and point B, then it will influence that movement. It can change that movement. So I don't want to go over detail on that, the concentric, the eccentric, the lengthening and shortening of the muscles. I would rather you just remember it as point A to point B and back to point A, and the pauses at point B and point A are the other 2 variables there. So digit 1 is A to B, digit 2 is the pause at B, digit 3 is the movement from B back to A, and digit 4 is the pause at A. That's 1 repetition. The 4 digits involved in 1 repetition for tempo counting. So the tempo is the cyclical pattern of time measured in seconds used when performing a given movement or exercise or task. So we're just using the tempo to elicit other benefits in our training. We can change the tempo and change the outcome, change the results of the training. So typically you want to have the tempo be a certain within a certain window. So it's roughly, and there's a lot of leeway here, but you want it to be longer rather than shorter for the most part. Something like 45 to 75 seconds appears to be the peak window, as research indicates, for hypertrophy and strength and muscle development. So if we are doing an exercise like the squat, for example, digit 1 would be how long we take to descend from the top to the bottom, from position A to position B. Digit 2 in our squat would be how long we pause in the bottom position, holding the bottom of the squat. Digit 3 would be how long we take to go back from the bottom back to standing position, to the top of the movement. And digit 4 would be how long do we pause standing at the top of the squat. So if we use an example here, squat tempo 2-2-1-0, it would be 2 seconds going downward from point A to B. So it would be down 1,000 to 1,000. And then we get to the bottom position and we hold, the second digit is a 2. So at point B, the pause at B is 2 seconds long. 2-second hold in the bottom position, point B. So it would be down 1,000 to 1,000, hold 1,000 to 1,000. The third digit is 1 second from B to A going back up. So it'd be down 1,000 to 1,000, hold 1,000 to 1,000, up 1,000, just 1 second getting back up to the top, and then no pause at the top, a 0. So 0-second hold at the top of the position. So right when you got to the top of the 1,000, you would come back down 1,000, 2,000, hold 1,000, 2,000, up 1,000, down 1,000, 2,000, hold 1,000, 2,000, up 1,000, and continuing that tempo. So one rep would take 5 seconds. 2 down, 2 hold, 1 second in the bottom, come back up, no pause at the top. So a 5-second rep for 10 reps would be 50 seconds. So instead of a squat, say you regularly would see people doing a regular cadence squat, let's just say 1 down, 1 up, no pausing at the top or the bottom, that'd be a 2-second rep. 10 reps would be 20 seconds of time under tension. 20 seconds where the muscles are actually squeezing and holding and fighting that weight, fighting the load. So if we don't look at it as a number of reps or weight, and we look at it as time under tension for how to get the best results, instead of just stacking on the weight and doing a bunch more sloppy reps, focus on really keeping the tension in the muscle for more maximally for a longer period of time. If we can really distribute and squeeze that tension into the muscle and then keep it there for longer by going a little bit slower through our reps and really leaning into that excruciating burn as the set elongates, then that's going to give us better muscle growth. That's very, very clear in the literature. It's all about time under tension. And so if we can elongate that tempo from just the regular example there of a set of 10 up and down 1 second each, 20 seconds, versus a 2-2-1-0, that's going to be a 50-second set versus a 20-second set, which is 250%, times increase of load. So like actual stress on the tissues through the time under tension process. So as you can imagine, the same weight and the same amount of reps just done slower can significantly increase the difficulty /challenge/stimulus, which will elicit a higher growth response, ideally more strength and power and muscle development. So instead of just sloppy reps up and down quickly, you want to focus on going slow, elongating that set, and trying for a majority of exercises to get your time under tension somewhere between 30 or 40 and upwards of 60 or 70 seconds to make sure that you're fully fatiguing that tissue optimally. So there's another example here of a pull-up. We'll just go into that one. You can see here the bottom position is A and the top position is B versus our squat or our push-up where the top position is A and the bottom position is B. So our first number is going to be going up because we know we're starting at the bottom and the point B is at the top. So the first number is the upward movement that it takes, the time it takes us to go up from A to B. So this is a 1-3-1-1. So we've got 1 second on the way up, a 3-second hold in B. The second number is the pause at B. So we've got a 3-second hold in position B at the top. And then we've got 1 second coming down from position B to position A, slowly lowering yourself in for 1 second. And then 1 second hold in A at the bottom, so you can completely kill your body weight, not use any momentum, and pause there for a moment in that loaded stretch on the lat. So this would be a 6-second rep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds per rep. So a set of 10 would be 60 seconds versus, again, if we go back to the example of a pull-up that you see at the gym, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably not even 1 second up and 1 second down. It's probably faster than that. So a set of 10 would be 20 seconds or less. A set of 10 here would be 60 seconds. That's 3 times the amount of work in time under tension speak for all the muscles involved in the pull-up when doing it at a slower pace, something like this, for example. So This is just something you're going to see in your programming a lot. You'll see it in the tempo section of the workout app. And I want you to just make sure that you're paying attention to those numbers when you're performing your workouts. So that way, you're slowing it down, so you're likely going to do the exercise or the movement pattern more efficiently, more safely, so your risk of injury is going to go down. But also because of the elongation of the set through the slower movement and the pauses added, increasing that time under tension, you're going to get more of a stimulus, more of a challenge out of it too. So you may have to back off the weights. What you normally would do for your squat with a down one, up one tempo is going to be a lot heavier than what you'll be able to do at a down two, hold two, up one tempo. That tempo is going to take, that's 2.5 times more work. So an easy rule of thumb would be do 2.5 times quote unquote less weight. The idea is just, if you're going to challenge yourself more on the spectrum, then decrease the challenge somewhere else. If we're going to increase the time, which is kind of a variable of volume, or if we're going to increase the volume, we know we need to decrease the intensity to balance that out. So the intensity being the load, the weight used here. So whenever you implement tempo training, start lighter than you normally would with no tempo, where you're just going up and down, because the set's going to be a lot longer. You're going to go slower. You're going to have to really squeeze and think about a lot of little variables. So start light, and then you can always progress weight throughout the sets and throughout the weeks, throughout the workouts. So the 4 digits, A to B, the pause at end of B, the movement from B to A, and then the pause at A. So just keep that in mind whenever you see any of your workouts. And of course, if you don't see any numbers, if there's no 4 digits in your workout app, it just has the exercise, then you know that there's no set prerequisite tempo for that exercise. So just do it at what feels the most normal and comfortable pace to do that exercise at. For example, like a lunge, you're just stepping out, controlling the descent, decelerating into an appropriate single leg / lunge / split squat pattern, and then explosively pushing yourself back out with enough relative force to bring you back to where you started, point A, that standing position with your feet together. So there's not going to be any real tempo to a lunge. And there's some other explosive exercises like a kettlebell swing. You wouldn't really be able to put a tempo towards that either, because it's more of a ballistic movement. Jumping, you don't really put a tempo to. But when you do see tempo, this is the format to follow when you don't just do it at a regular normal pace. And of course, if you guys have any questions, drop them below in the comments section here, or post them on the group community page, and I will answer them during our next team call. Woo!